Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. Today's manhwa is called The Regretful Divorce Villainess Finds Happiness, Chapter 1. We enter into an agitated conversation between a duke and his wife. They're both irritated. She calls him darling, and he scoffs that he's sick and tired of hearing that word from her, and that she should just go to her room if she's done bugging him. The beautiful red-headed woman sighs, with a look of regret, as a door slams in her face. She's definitely not happy with him. No matter what she does, he won't ask for a divorce. She already knows that he's been seeing another woman, but his disrespectful treatment of his own wife is just icing on the cake. The maid staff slowly approaches the Duke's door, trying not to further agitate the Duchess. She tells them to move aside. They try to argue that they need to go in to attend to the Duke's office, but she pushes past them in a boss move. Everyone gasps when the door flings open. She stares straight into her husband Oscar's eyes and snaps at him. He chuckles, amused at her antics. Didn't she hear that he didn't want to be bothered? She gives him a hard stare and tells him that she wants a divorce. To understand what's going on, we need to go back a little bit. Hardships create a bond. The more difficult the stumbling blocks, the sweeter the reward. This was the role of the villainess in the story. Her job was to reinforce a relationship of the male and female lead. Basically, she was a catalyst that would serve to ignite the incredible love story of the main characters. You see, our girl is not from this world. This is a world inside a web novel called The Portrait of Green Water, which was all about regret and cheating. The villainess, Milena Losum, was part of an arranged marriage with the icy Duke, Creedwell. She becomes Milena Creedwell. From the moment she saw the Duke, Milena wanted to be with him. She was a top-tier noble, daughter of Marquess Losum, who lacked for nothing. She came from a high-ranking, extremely influential family. Unfortunately, her one single obsession in life was Oscar. She rejected every single offer of marriage, screaming and yelling like a spoiled brat that it was Oscar or no one. She wore down her father's resolve. To their noble family, honor was the foundation of their pride. Her father finally gave in, and Milena was giddy with joy. Feeling like it was raining gold from the heavens, her father tried to warn her one last time and told her to reconsider the family's honor of marrying someone who was beneath her and had no interest in her at all. He told Milena that she would need to choose between being a powerful heir of Losum or get stuck in a miserable, loveless marriage. Milena read between the lines. If she married, her father would disown her. She considered for a moment Duke Oscar Creedwell with a bad reputation, or the prestigious Losum family. She didn't take long to think, or think at all. She chose marriage almost immediately, arrogantly believing that she could change Oscar's heart. The Marquess just stared at his foolish daughter, accepting her decision. He asked Oscar to accept Milena in matrimony. The two were married, and Milena was officially the black sheep of the Losum family. Had the story merely ended here, it would be foolish Milena making fanciful choices. But this wasn't the ending. This was the beginning of the story. The female lead, Serwin, was the polar opposite of Milena. Milena was a placeholder, a doomed villainess who brought both the male and female lead closer in her evil attempts to separate them. That said, Oscar and Serwin's relationship wasn't all that wholesome either. Oscar rushed into marriage with Milena to take advantage of her family name and prestige. But he kept Serwin hidden in a bad part of town, continuing to visit her whenever he had an opportunity. They would meet and passionately argue. Though Serwin pretended to be pure and innocent, Her inner thoughts were anything but. See, she thought, he's mine. Even marriage wouldn't keep him away from her. Poor Milena, she ridiculed silently. She's waiting alone for a husband who won't come to see her. He'll never love her. Suddenly, we're taken out of the novel. A young girl is reading the web novel, appalled at Serwyn's thoughts. It was even more disturbing that neither one of the main characters even cared that they were having an affair. The biggest shock is that the novel was considered a bestseller. A lot of people criticized the main characters in the forums, but most people admitted that they were entertained. Of course, that's only the case from the reader's perspective. Living this nightmare is a whole different story. Who would want to be in this idiotic, shallow, villainous position? The original Milena was so crazy over Oscar that he got sick of her and asked for a divorce. Instead of giving him a divorce and starting a better life, she goes and tries to harm Serwyn. Oscar gets in the middle of the confrontation and becomes regretful. He realizes that he's actually in love with the female lead and deals with the trauma of the past that made him so cold. The web novel was put on hold after that, the author citing health reasons. So, ending up in this body, she had decided to play the best villainess so that Oscar could ask for a divorce as soon as possible. However, there was a problem with this plan. She was getting tired of obsessing over the Duke. Why hadn't he brought up divorce talks yet? Now we're brought back to the present situation. Milena can't take it anymore and snaps at Oscar, demanding a divorce. Oscar is momentarily rattled. What? He asks. And that's the end of this chapter. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on new releases. See you soon!